welcome to the stage of Galaxy of Fortune! Meet our contestants, Mr. X.
Hi, Mom.
And Mrs. Blub.
Hello.
To all our first-time viewers, let me just say, thanks for nothing. And now let's briefly review how the game works. Our contestants must answer a question for each planet that comes up on the big wheel. They win 200 points for each right answer, but they lose a turn for each wrong answer. Bonus points and forfeits are calculated in arbitrary and confusing amounts just to spice up the action. 1,000 points and you reach Nirvana. But if you lose 1,000, you'll be plunged into the icy void of space. Gosh, isn't this a fun show? Luck has smiled on Mrs. Blub, possibly for the first time in her life. Mrs. Blub, you have the lead. Let's take a look at one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Relaxius, the vacation planet.
Well, Johnny, the vacation planet is a place that blows, hot and cold. Vast Arctic and desert regions washed by vast oceans make this planet a vast vacation playground. Here, interstellar travelers come to fry their outer skins to a leathery toughness by a soon-to-go nova sun. A whole plethora of activities organized by a charming subhumanoid staff envelops the weary vacationer in an atmosphere of total pleasure and expense. It's hard to forget a stay in Relaxius. Of course, it's hard to survive one, too.
This is a question of observation. Make sure you look very carefully. What's the favorite pastime of the tourist behind you? Is it long-distance biking, skiing, or whaling? You've got 1 minute.
Yeah, there is a lot of questions, and you lose points for getting a question wrong. And as you can see, the questions are not easy. You're probably going to make a lot of wrong answers. So the best advice that I can give you is to save beforehand. And if you start losing big time, then reload. But fortunately, I have done a practice run. And I've noted down a fair amount of answers. So hopefully we can get through this relatively quickly.
Long-distance biking.
And the answer is long-distance biking. Absolutely right. Our observant contestant immediately noticed the bicycle clip our tourist wears to show off his favorite pastime. Mrs. Blub, you've won a lovely picture made entirely of worthless shells.
Oh, thanks much. It'll look just lovely in the guest bath.
Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Yeah, I don't want to hang around too long because as you can see, this isn't exactly a fast-paced game.
Let's take a look at one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Tropheus, the hunting planet.
If you get the urge to spend a few days on this sportsman's paradise, you'll have to take a few precautions. First, make sure you wear the latest in bulletproof jackets and other highly visible clothes. Second, during your walks through the lush scenery on this planet, don't forget to signal your presence by shouting, "Get out of my way!" And remember, drinking and hunting don't mix. Of course, you should follow this same advice when visiting New York.
Here's a question on zoology. How many animal species on the hunting planet are in danger of extinction? 200, all the species on the planet, or none? You've got 1 minute.
Now, this did not come up in my practice run, so I am going to have to guess.
All the species.
And the answer is none. Oops, too bad. In fact, there have been no animal species on Tropheus for years. They've all been exterminated by hunters and replaced by animal replicas, which of course can't run away. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Let's take a look at one of the hip interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Pretentious, the art planet.
Well, Link, just look at these sprawling vistas of twisted metal and structures in iron and plastic. Isn't this actually Dumpius, the garbage planet? No, Link, these stinking, rotting carcasses of refuse are actually works of art. And what this is. The artistic inhabitants of this planet are rude, self-important, poor, and out of step with the rest of the universe. All I can say, Link, is that if this is art, I'm a Grabloxian warthog.
What does this work of art represent? A sunset on Pretentious. A self-portrait of the artist. A nude portrait of the artist's wife.
Oh, a self-portrait of the artist!
And the answer is a self-portrait of the artist. Excellent eye! It's a portrait of the artist himself. He painted this self-portrait after ending a tragic love affair with himself. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. Mr. X, you've won this monumental work of art made entirely of crushed spaceships.
Hey, our spaceship ain't crushed, but it sure looks like that!
My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Here's one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Effluvius, the pollution planet.
Well, Link, Effluvius is not for the squeamish. This poisoned wasteland is only for the hardy explorer looking for a new thrill, like whitewater rafting on rivers of sulfuric acid. Hey, don't get wet. Love the smell of burning tires? Well, Effluvius is your kind of destination, but please don't inhale. Dressed in your fashionable protective overalls, you can explore every nook and cranny of this blighted hellhole. You may even glimpse the blackened remains of a former civilization, if you can manage to see through what passes for air. Yes, and if you're lucky, you might even encounter a sickly effluvian, doomed to extinction on this accursed planet. When you're visiting the pollution planet, remember to bring your own oxygen and plenty of extra film.
A famous entertainer is hidden among these dying inhabitants. Can you find him? Is it number 1, 2, or 3? You've got 1 minute.
Number 1.
And the answer is number 2, the one with the clown nose, of course. You know, as an entertainer, let me say this guy just kills me. He's a real pro. Anyway, I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame.
No.
My dear Mr. X,
What?
It's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Yeah, this is entirely randomized. But it's just delaying things even further.
Oh.
And now, another question about the vacation planet. Another question of observation. What is the favorite pastime of the tourist behind you? Is it surfing, getting a suntan, or drinking cocktails on the beach? You've got 1 minute.
Drinking cocktails.
And the answer is drinking cocktails on the beach. You got it in 1! You noticed the lovely red nose sported by our charming tourist, a total wimp who tans under a sun lamp and has never even touched a surfboard in her pitiful life. On the other hand, she can make a mean martini. Mrs. Blub, you won a fabulous holographic postcard. I'm sure the recipient will treasure it for life.
Oh, I think I'll send it to Aunt and Uncle Blub to thank them for watering the plants.
Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Oh.
Here's Lunaria, the psychiatric planet.
Well, Link, this heavily padded planet may be the nuttiest spot in the universe, if you don't count Los Angeles. Its exports include schizophrenia, neurosis, psychosis, and the urge to go into politics. Though their planet is a total shambles, Lunarians welcome the many visitors who flock here to make fun of them. Many famous people can be found here. In fact, 200 million inhabitants think they're a real Napoleon. Half think they've just conquered Europe, and the other half think they're dessert. Yes, on Lunaria you can really get away from it all, especially if you're trying to get away from sanity.
And the question is, what time is it? What time is it? Next year? 6:30 galactic mean time? Or, I don't know, I've forgotten my umbrella. You've got 1 minute.
Apparently it's next year.
Next year.
And the answer is number 1. Well done! The question was just so easy. Mrs. Blub, you've won a lengthy stay on Lunaria where you'll be treated to a deluxe rubber room.
Oh, thank you, but I think this current vacation may last me for a lifetime.
Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
There's still 3 more questions to answer correctly.
Oh.
Let's take a look at one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Delius, the trade planet.
Well, Link, this planet is the breeding ground of the galaxy's lowest form of life, the Delusions. These fast-talking, ingratiating aliens are the traveling salesmen of space. They crisscross the galaxy, searching for unwary consumers, loose credit, and cheap motels. And so is what they're selling: atomic slicers, dicers, miracle Martian shoe polish, and pork bellies. You may think you can resist, but these interplanetary pests won't give up until you've purchased all 3,200,000 volumes of the Encyclopedia Galactica.
Moving on to politics. How is the president of this planet elected? Directly by popular vote, indirectly by a college of electors, or by collecting coupons cut from a cereal box? You've got 1 minute.
Coupons!
And the answer is coupons! Well done! You've obviously studied up on your politics. The president's job is the grand prize in this large corporate-sponsored event. Mrs. Blub, you've won Volume 1 of the Encyclopedia Galactica, from Aardvark to Artichoke.
Oh, I've always wanted to know more about artichokes.
Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Oh.
Well done!
Oh.
Now it's bonus point time! Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
I'm happy with that one. Now, please be a question that I already know the answer to. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again.
I think that I cursed myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
I was quite lucky there. It could have been worse.
Here's one of our fabulous interstellar locations presented on Galaxy of Fortune. It's Mafius, the gangster planet.
Well, Link, this planet is known for its interesting local customs. These include revenge killings, drug trafficking, and fine dining. While on Mafius, check out the many wonderful lounge shows. But just make sure you return all favors. For vice aplenty, it's Mafius, the planet you can't refuse.
Only one type of Mafius inhabitant cannot be corrupted. Which one? The judges, the police, or the corpses? You've got 1 minute.
I thought that this question was quite an easy one to answer originally.
The corpses!
And the answer is the corpses. Great! You can't bribe a corpse. However, it is possible to bribe a corpse's family. Mrs. Blob, you've won a Mafia's contract to eliminate the person of your choice.
Oh, I want to eat my
Even though it
dust!
defies the laws of this universe, the winner is Mrs. Blob! Goodbye, Mr. X.
I'll get you!
So, Mrs. Blob, are you ready for round 2?
Oh.
Yes, you've got a chance to win this magnificent vacation cruiser! Give the wheel another spin, Mrs. Blob!
Alrighty, here I go. Yes, yes. Huh?
Mrs. Blob, you have lost!
Now we'll never get home.
Thanks for playing. Now, into the void!
That may have seemed like a pointless endeavour, but we did come away with a consolation prize. I'm guessing that this was meant to be part of a bigger puzzle. As you may have noticed in the previous video, that there were several places that we could hide it. The main aim of this foghorn is to attract the attention of Grandmother Blob.
Hey!
Before I use this foghorn in its intended room, there was an object that I forgot to collect in my original jaunt around the place. And now I'm looking at it, it seems quite obvious now. There we go, that's what I needed. I'm recording this segment a few days after the previous video, and also the Galaxy of Fortune segment, as during my previous recording session, not only did I start becoming rather unwell throughout the recording, the game also crashed, which was sort of a good thing, as I forgot about that stick. And during a recording session, I completely forgot exactly where it was.
Oh, great! More capitalist laundry! Meet our demands or die, bourgeois pig!
Long live the appliance revolution!
Here, take her for a spin. This will show them we can't be exploited anymore. Long live their workers' struggle!
Oh, me, oh, my, oh, for goodness sake.
Now I'm guessing that this was meant to be another clue, but the problem is, when you use this foghorn on this third floor, nothing happens. So why would you use it on this floor?
Back to work or I'll block your hoses.
Excusez-moi. Our contract expressly forbids any harassment by management. So, what cycle do you want?
I'm guessing that the more you experiment with it, the more outcomes happen. But with already using the soap on the floor, I've kind of closed some avenues. We have 3 options that we can choose. The third option involves ground and blood stains, which I would choose, but the problem is it cuts off some of the dialogue. So I'm going to choose this option here.
If it's not too much trouble, I'd like the color cycle, please.
I'm quitting this job. I'd rather work for myself. Open my own business.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I've always wanted to own a dry cleaner.
Hey, what's all that
I got
noise?
Mom outside. She's powering up the chainsaw. Now what?
Here's the plan. We'll swoop down on him in one of my old inventions, not the combination can opener at-home vasectomy kit that was outlawed on
Dad,
our
there's
planet.
no time for that.
Okay! Unfortunately, the machine needs a few things to work. We need something to make the wings, a propeller, a motor, and a frame to hold it all together. Get those 4 things and I'll wait for you on the roof.
Well, fortunately, we already have them.
Oh, I hate to disturb you, Dad. But could you tell me again what you need to build this flying machine?
Listen up hard, Princess. I need fabric for wings, a wooden plank for a propeller, a frame to hold it together, and a power source. The usual. Got that?
Sounds easy enough. We could just hand in random objects, but then this just happens. Alright, so fabric for wings.
Dad?
Oh, thanks. Just put it there.
Our propeller.
Here's your propeller.
Well, chuck it over.
A frame.
Dad?
Oh, thanks. Drop it anywhere.
And our power source.
Now what?
I've got everything. Give me a hand. Give me that. Almost done here. Just need a couple of more adjustments there. Here we go. Hey, stop interrupting. So, where are those burrowing rodents? Okay, start pedaling, you sightless weasels. All right, now the wings. Okay, there you go. Okay, there it's done. Well, good luck. We'll need it.
Oh! Turn in the direction of the skid! Come on, guys! Come on! That's it! You're doing well! Keep pedaling, you little dears! I'll steer! Oh, faster! We're catching up! Oh, there he is! We've got him!
Uh-oh.
Take that! Oh, mission accomplished, girls! We won!
Game's over now, dear. So what was it you wanted me to do? Calm down, I'm only trying to help. No!
That's for this stupid machine! And for letting them escape, and damn it, I enjoy hitting you! Out of my sight, you miserable lizard-dung failure! And don't forget your great invention, Pitiful Runt!